This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this morning. Actually, I'm a few minutes behind. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it's 12:01 as I record this video. I told myself I'd get recording by about noon. Well, 12:01's damn near. But what we have to discuss today is, I think it's a very simple, complex question, right? Is Gaetan Haas, you've got Joakim Nygard, and you've got Anton Bertuzov. Those three guys signed to change the dynamic of the roster. Yes, okay, the asterisk is Bertuzov's on a PTO. But what we saw last night and what we've kind of seen, Gaetan Haas has had some good goes and some bad goes so far. Probably the weakest of the three, honestly, even though he's played quite a few games, is the simple fact that everybody's there to do a job, earn a job. Well, so far, like I said, it probably goes Nygard, Bertuzov, Haas in my mind, but it's open to debate, right? Is given the rosters that Gaetan has been on for the preseason so far, how can you really blame him specifically totally for his performance when you consider what he's been playing with? It's open for debate, as I said, but that's not the point of today's video. We're not here to get down on Gaetan Haas. We're not here to say, man, it'd be nice to sign Anton Bertuzov to a one-year contract based on 3 shots that he had last night. No, we're here to talk about Joakim Nygard today, because Joakim Nygard, guys, go back to May 24th, May 23rd, I think I put out my video actually, but we signed this Swedish free agent to an NHL entry deal. And all of a sudden, I mean, we're all asking ourselves, look, the book on this guy is speed, right? We're saying, man, this guy's got a lot of speed. What do we like speed? We like speed with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Suddenly we've got our top 6 winger. But then all of a sudden we kind of rein ourselves in. Yeah, he had a 21-goal year in the SHL last year, but is that really our solution? And we've debated all through the summer into the start of training camp, and I mean, we've gone back and forth, right? Joakim Nygard could fit on that Nuge line, could very well fit on the Draisaitl and McDavid line, but at the same rate, he could fit somewhere in the bottom 6 and completely change the dynamic of our bottom 6, like Toby Reeder did with his speed. I mean, Joakim Nygard might actually score goals. That's kind of the theory. And what he did last night is a very interesting take on what Joakim Nygard can bring, right? You look at Joakim Nygard, he had a couple great chances last night. He uses that speed so effectively. And what I think the speed is comparable to in terms of a hockey player's general speed and what it does to defenders is very much so to our very own Connor McDavid, right? The Joakim Nygard you've seen, I mean, yeah, it's the preseason, so a lot of these guys are a lot less talented defensively as defenders than some guys Joakim Nygard will face this year if he plays in the NHL. But the key is Joakim Nygard's speed has caught 6 or 7 guys this preseason off guard, right? He just, boom, up the ice, he's gone, and he gets a chance on net. Now, what Dave Tippett's been critical of with Haas and with Nygard, that's why I mentioned Haas off the top, because he has equal parts of this as well, is the fact that both players and Bertuzov now to a degree are adjusting to the North American game. And when you do that, the big thing is you have to stop thinking it, right? Because you're thinking, I got to make the adjustments the adjustments in my head. Well, Tippett says, just play. Just friggin' play. That's all I want to see. Is I want hockey players who are going to go out there, get their feet working, and play. And that's to both of Bertuzov, or all 3 of them, Bertuzov, Nygard, and Haas, their first game or their first few games, they were struggling with that, right? But now you've got Joakim Nygard, who played last night. We're going to ignore Bertuzov playing last night because, remember, it's the first one. Let's just write that off. But Joakim Nygard took that step last night. That was an absolutely massive step for him to take. And I mean, the one play I will chalk that down to when I saw that Joakim Nygard got it last night, besides this goal, is the simple fact that Draisaitl had a pass off the half wall to the top of the circle, kind of just outside of the slot, and the first thing, Joakim Nygard was ready for it. I mean, He wasn't even thinking where that puck was going anywhere else. It was going to the net as quickly as he could get it to the net. And that play, just a great shot, perfect execution. I don't care if you score or not. Getting a hard shot on net, 10 out of 10 is never a bad idea. Don't kid ourselves there, because honestly, the Oilers don't do enough of that, and we've started seeing the defense doing that a lot more this preseason. Well, if you can get the wingers and centermen working a half-wall play, funneling it to the net on a one-timer off of just a 10-foot pass, ladies and gentlemen, we've got enough crasher and bangers on this team throughout the lineup that are going to be able to cash those chances. So, right, we've got some finishers too. So it's a key for us to do that. And Joakim Nygard being able to do that last night was huge in terms of what I see out of him. So just to analyze that a little bit, that's a very good step forward for him. But what I liked, again, out of that goal last night for him, which was maybe a Darnell Nurse goal, originally credited to Nurse, now credited to Joakim Nygard. Could have been in for Nurse, definitely in for Nygard. The key with Nygard there is he's standing right there, right? If you're going to activate the defenseman, everybody except for a forward on the off wing from the play and a defenseman on the other side should be crashing the net. So that gives you the defenseman and two guys, in my estimation, that should be crashing that net looking for a rebound, right? Because you want the defenseman to be able to get down. You want two guys to crash and bang, to hold that puck up for at least a half second or two to allow the defenseman to get back as quickly as possible. And that's the key, right? Darnell Nurse got burnt a lot last year, but if you do what they did last night, you're either going to stop the play dead with a goal, stop the play dead with a puck freeze, or you're going to hold that puck up enough for Darnell Nurse to get the first and second step back towards the blue line, 5 in, 5 back, as Dave Tippett says. And that's the key, right? If you're going to go 5 in, you got to go 5 in, and that's where the two guys coming in. While Joakim Nygard doing that, absolutely fantastic. And half the time, if you're crashing and banging in front of the net, there's a couple of things that are going to happen. The goal is going to freeze the puck. You're going to get buried off a big hit because somebody's clearing you out of the crease. You're going to take a goalie interference penalty or goalie interference on the goal. Or, straight up, number 4, you're going to score a goal like Joakim Nygard did last night. Hallelujah, right? That's what we want to see. And now, go back. I just have to check this because I'm pretty sure he played against Vancouver the other night. Vancouver Canucks. Guys, my brain's shot. Last night was a late night, so let's go NHL preseason. Where am I at? I want to see the NHL preseason. The Canucks and Senators are playing some games in the preseason. Who knew? Canucks versus Oilers, 6-1 for the Canucks. You guys know what we're talking about there. Gaetan Oz played. Joakim Nygard had 3 shots on goal. But the key is not the shots on goal in that one. What I want to touch on the Vancouver Canucks game from the 6-1 loss is in that third period, it's either the second or third period, I was talking about how lackluster the Oilers were, and then all of a sudden I was talking to Joakim Nygard's been good with his speed. He wasn't good all around, he was really good with his speed. Well, suddenly Joakim Nygard gets in on the forecheck, and he actually hits his man really well into the boards. And that's, it didn't result in a goal. It didn't result in anything big for the Oilers. But that's the other side of the game too. I've talked for about 8 minutes all about thinking the game offensively and doing the things right offensively. Well, to do the things right offensively, you have to generate that offense. And as a forward, especially a winger, if he's going to play in the top 6, which he's showing he might be capable of just based on speed, as I said, the key for Nygard is to be able to forecheck effectively. And what that means, obviously, right, if you've got 5 in, 5 back, it changes the dynamic compared to last year's Oilers forecheck. But for Nygard, he's got to be able to take his man into the boards perfectly, right, the right way, do it perfect kind of deal, right? And so against Vancouver, he took it in, went in, hard pin, hard off, and then the play continues. And that's what the Oilers need. Nygard needs to go in there, get a little bit dirty, get a man up against the boards, and try to force that turnover. And that's the other side to this thinking the game, right? if you go in there trying to think the game and not play the game, is you're going to go in there and try to get your stick into some position, and you might end up taking a penalty in it. But if you just go in to play, you literally read the situation, bang, crash, puck comes free one way or the other. And that's what happened in that Vancouver game. So that was kind of to go back a game before we saw Nygard really come together last night, is the simple fact that it came together in one small facet of his game the previous game. So guys, that's my analyzation. My analysis? Yeah, analysis. Making up words again. This is why I'm not a paid broadcaster, is what it is. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Stolen TV. I want to hear your thoughts on Joakim Nygard today. Joakim, I'll say it a million different ways this year. I just want to see how Kevin Quinn says it, okay? That's what I'm hoping for. Guys, I am up on out of here.